Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Game Club. Uh, in this episode, we're going to be playing my last pick for PlayStation 1 Classic games. I haven't forgot about your survey. Your games are going to be on the next two episodes, the last two episodes. There'll be 6 episodes total for Gaming Club. And I'd tell you who's in the lead right now for those episodes, but we'll just keep it a surprise. The vote is being done through a Google form through the club. So it's the vote will end today. So make sure that you go cast your vote so your voice is heard. We're going to play one of my favorite games of PS1 called Star Ocean, Second Evolution, or Second Story. This game was remade on the PSP, and hopefully there'll be a remake coming out for the Switch one of these days. It's a PlayStation 1 game, and one of the things I want to talk about PlayStation 1 RPGs in general is that a lot of them use this pre-rendered background look, but not all of them combined it with sprites. And this game looks pretty good until you go to the overworld map, and it looks kind of fuzzy and ugly, but this is about the worst it looks the whole time. The story for this game is literally Star Trek. I skipped a lot of the opening cutscene stuff because it's so long, because it's an RPG. We'd be watching cutscenes instead of playing the game. This is Claude C. Kinney, who I'm playing as. He's one of the two playable characters in this game. And the other one is Raina Lamford, who we'll meet in a little bit. And right now we're just trying to progress the story. And we're raiding this guy's mansion because why not? Seeing if there are any treasure chests here. Oh, apparently I've already been in here. So we'll leave the mansion, and Claude should... Yep, there we go. It's no good. This really is an underdeveloped planet. No clue anywhere. I'll get no response from my communicator. It's no use. Maybe I'll go back to Arlia. So again, Claude is a Federation officer who went on an away mission and got sucked into a portal that took him to an underdeveloped planet. And because of the Prime Directive, he can't talk to the inhabitants about where he came from or what he's doing there. He's dressed differently, and everybody's like, "Where are you from? What are you doing here?" Some of them are even think that he's like the hero because he has a phaser, or they call it a phase gun. I can actually use it in battle right here. Oof. I'll lose this eventually. The batteries on it will run dead, and then I'll have to use my sword, which you see right there. So we're going to go back to Arlia, which is the town you start in after you get whisked away. And Rain has been kidnapped by the mayor's son of the neighboring town that I was just at. And I'm going to go rescue her because the town's afraid of being retaliated upon because it's a little village. The guy with the beard is Mayor Regis. I always think of Regis Philbin. I don't know why. Y'all probably don't know who Regis Philbin is, do you? Used to host I Want to Be a Millionaire. So Claude's a goody two-shoes, good guy, and so he's going to go help. And he's going to rescue Raina from Alan. One thing you learn about this planet when you get here is that they badly need a hero, which is why they thought you were the hero of legend. Not only because you had a sword of light and dressed in strange clothes, but because the planet was hit by a meteor, and ever since the meteor hit, monsters have been running around. A whole continent has been conquered by the monsters, and everybody was waiting for this hero to show up and rescue them. And Claude is like, I'm very much not this hero, but everybody sort of insists that he is. And so, in a situation where he's supposed to lay low and nobody's supposed to notice him, he winds up, trying to save the world. So he's not a great Starfleet officer, but he's a good guy. So Claude decides he's going to rescue Raina. This has got one of those classic PlayStation 1 translations where everybody's very literal with what they say, which is fine. I really like the music in this game. It's got really good music. I hope that the music is playing. I hope. That button looked like it was not playing. It's supposed to be playing. He says, don't worry, wait here. I'll go rescue her. Because he's a nice guy. So Claude is off to rescue Reyna, and you know, this is classic RPG stuff. This game's, you know, they say you can beat it in about 60 hours. I've seen people talk about it, but almost every time I play it, it takes me like 100 hours to beat it. Okay, the town is like, oh my gosh, the world has come to an end. And I'm going to go up here in a place where I'm trying to lay low. And because I'm in a hurry, I'm going to shoot the door with my phaser, which is the last time I get to use the phaser, by the way. Oh no, it's locked. Zap. And of course, everybody's going to see me and think, oh no, the hero of light has shown up. So from here on out, I just have my sword and special moves. I've played this game a lot, so I kind of know exactly where to go. So I'm going to go, whoop, he says that and then goes to the wrong place. It's downstairs, isn't it? There we go. Alright, that's Reyna's pendant. So I know she was in this room. Her hairpin, excuse me. Yes, I got it. There we go. It plays like a little musical theme, and it won't let you continue until you do it. So there's a hidden door in this room. And switches over here on this glowing object that they subtly show you. Anyway, I was telling the story. Alan, who's the mayor's son in this town, he found this strange gem. It turns out it was a part of the meteorite that crashed and made everything crazy, and it's turned him insane. And so he's not acting normally right now. And so he has kidnapped Reyna, and he wants to marry her against her will. This is a carpenter who actually lives in Arlia, and he tried to help Reyna, but he was attacked. Save. So we'll run back here. Treasure chests, rose hips, blackberries. Most of the healing items in this game are berries. Iron acquired. One of the major elements of this game is the crafting system, and as you get later in the game, it's a lot easier to craft items. I took some time to level up, so this guy shouldn't be too tough. You can take them out in like one hit, and they're barely doing any damage to me. Hopefully they'll give good experience, though. I need about 93 to level, so about halfway there. So you pick up experience points, but you also pick up skill points every time you level, and you can use those skill points to update your skills, and that allows you to buff certain stats and also to create certain items. So he's right there, so I'm going to level one more level. The battle system is not turn-based. I'll have control of Claude here, but whenever I get more party members, they will be controlled by the AI, and I can tell them certain things to do, but for the most part they're not really in my control. That was 20 experience, so I need 32 more. I hope I didn't just glitch. Okay. There's a glitch in this game where if you open the menu at certain times, that like next battle won't come on until you enter a certain screen. Yes, these are giant rabbits with boxing gloves that I can't hit because they won't be still. Alright. This game was famous for voice battle clips. Alright, I leveled. And what I mean by voice battle clips is that the prequel on the Super Nintendo had a lot of voice in it. This game continued that as well, so the characters will talk in battle and say certain things in response to how you're doing, which is pretty neat. Alright, let's see how this goes. Alan's not hard, but he's not a pushover either, so hopefully I'm leveled up high enough I can just take him out pretty easy. Oh, drat. Help me, help me. Mr. Claude. We know such thing as a wedding desired by only one party. And now he's going to lose it. And he's going to turn into a monster. And we're going to have to fight him. There's the green stone. That's making him crazy. Alright, now Reyna's only level 1, but she's actually pretty useful in this fight for a couple things. She does have healing magic. If I can just keep him kind of corral. There we go. Easy. He didn't even get an attack in. Stun lock. So Reyna leveled twice in that fight, which is good. But she has healing magic, which is important, you know, because one, she's your healer, and then two, because in the story she's the only person on this whole planet who has healing magic, and that's unusual. You might be like, magic in Star Trek? But they kind of have a scientific explanation for it, which I won't go into here because honestly I don't remember it. But that's kind of what I like about it, is that like even in Star Trek they had like magic type looking things that would happen, and Spock would always, or Data or whoever, would just explain it away like, oh, that makes sense. So it's kind of a similar sort of thing here. So it's like, oh, we have high fantasy and magic, but there's a scientific explanation to it this time because Star Trek's their inspiration. So a lot of people criticize this game because while it's supposed to be drawing a lot of inspiration from Star Trek, you don't spend time like on different planets or ships or anything. But I think what people forget about Star Trek is a lot of Star Trek is away missions. And so I always think about this game as like a really long, wacky, crazy Star Trek away mission. This guy who just gets lost, like, you know, in old Star Trek episodes. I know you guys probably don't watch a lot of Star Trek, but I watched a lot of Star Trek growing up. Mainly because my parents had all 79 original episodes on Betamax tapes. If you don't know what a Betamax is, go Google it, because they're, you know, that's a throwback right there. But they had all of them. We had a Betamax player, and so I watched a lot of Star Trek growing up. And, you know, you had certain away missions that they would go on and last a long time. This game kind of reminds me of a lot of that stuff. So for some reason now they're calling it Alan Tax, which is like his name whenever he's not evil. I don't know. It's weird. Translation stuff. And they're telling him what happens because he doesn't remember. He just like, I remember touching the stone and then that's it. I don't remember anything after that. And they're like, well, you went crazy. And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I did a terrible thing. And they're like, well, it wasn't you, but you know, we're glad you're back to normal. But I'm not going to be dating you anymore. Her and Reyna Allen kind of had a thing going. But she's, you know, got a thing for Cloud now. Or maybe she doesn't. Another thing about this game is that it held the Guinness World Book of Records for a long time for the most endings a video game had. It had 83 endings with its original release. All of them slight variations on each other based on a built-in affinity system that this game has. It keeps tracks of your personal interaction with characters and then adds or subtracts affinity points depending on how well or how badly those events go. And so there's all sorts of things you can do to change the ending of the game. So Claude can run it with Reyna if their affinity is high enough, and they start out with high affinity for each other, so you really have to try to not get them to be together, but you can do it. And you can, if you like a different character, you can raise the affinity for that character and he'll have an ending with that character. The remake had over 100 endings, so Obviously I haven't played this game 80 times to see all the endings, and there are ways that like certain items you can craft that will change the affinity. So if you wanted to see all the endings on one playthrough, and you could do that if you grinded up the items to use. It's unfortunately, after all this gameplay stuff, we have a lot of story that we have to go through, so we'll try to go through it quickly. You're about to find here. I'll summarize it since I'm scrolling through it so fast. Is that Claude has no leads. He's stuck on this alien planet. He doesn't know how to get off. He recognized that the gem that was infecting Alan was some piece of technology, and he's like, "Well, the only lead I have is the sorcery globe. That's the meteor that crashed into the Earth." He said, "So maybe I should investigate it, not because I'm some hero, but because it might be the only way I can get home." So he volunteers to go and investigate this meteor / sorcery globe is what they call it. And Reyna says, "Well, I'm going with you." And at first Claude's like, "No, you can't come with me." And then she's like, "I don't really care what you think." And so the mayor says, "You should take her because she's very useful. She has the healing magic. She's well trained. Yada, yada, yada. She needs to go." And so Reyna goes home to tell her mother that she's leaving town. And you learn from the mayor that Reyna is not from their village, that she was found in the forest. And that's why she has long ears and they have short ears. And that's why she's a little bit different than everybody else is. Like, she has the healing magic, which they don't have. She was found in the same spot that you appeared in. And at first, you don't think that she knows this, but you find out later that she overheard it years ago when her adopted father died. And so she wants to go with you because she wants to figure out where she came from. You want to go because you want to figure out how to get back home. And so you kind of have a common goal, I guess. I remember playing this game years ago and thinking the reflections in the water were really impressive. It's a graphical feature. Sorry, I had a timer running for something else entirely. She's going to run off. I'm not going to play too much longer, because that timer was for me to do something I need to take care of. So, but I'll try to at least get through this little story part. Actually, it's just more story after this, but I wish I could show off more of this game, but I don't have a save file later in the game, so I'm just going to call it right here. But this is, again, Star Ocean 2, Second Evolution. I really recommend it. It's got a lot more active battle system than, say, your traditional turn-based RPG, so if you've been turned off by turn-based RPGs, but you like a big story, it's definitely a game I'd recommend for that. It's classic sci-fi mixed with high fantasy, and it's just a good time all around, I find. And later this, like tomorrow and the next day, should be posting game club videos on the episodes that you guys picked for PlayStation, and then we're going to be moving on to a different console. I'm going to pick a couple of consoles for you guys to choose from, and then I'll probably have another Google form letting y'all pick the next console that we're going to focus on. We'll have probably about 6 episodes of that, and then we'll move on to a different console, and we'll just bounce around until we've done a lot of stuff in my collection. But I hope that you enjoyed this game, and if you want to see more of it, let me know. Obviously, some people told me they'd like to see more Dark Forces, and I might live stream that game some. Excuse me, by the way, and just see how that goes. But in the meantime, have a great week. Make sure you're getting your schoolwork done, and we'll see you on the next episode. Take care.